At number 7, we have Baby Luigi. So basically kind of like Baby Mario. And overall, Baby Luigi is basically Baby Mario, but he's just a baby version of Luigi this time around. And he in fact acts even more crazier and more afraid of things, I guess you want to call it that, than Baby Mario does. Plus he's funnier. So I think he's a bit better than Baby Mario, only by a bit though. But let's be real, Baby Mario and Baby Luigi are definitely classics. No questions asked. With that, let's move on to number 6, which is Yoshi. Yoshi is another one of those characters gets a lot of love, but it's kind of more for a good reason. I mean, let's be real. What's so interesting about Petey Piranha? He's a big plant. What's so interesting about Waluigi? He's Luigi, but purple. What's interesting about Yoshi? Well, let's see. He's the only dinosaur in the game, and he's quite cute, not gonna lie. Plus, he's just so lovable. I mean, who doesn't love Yoshi? And of course, he was one of the original 6 characters who've been in every Mario Kart game. So of course, he's beloved by many. And you gotta love how in Mario Kart 8 you could choose different colored Yoshis too. So, the more the merrier, and Yoshi's definitely one of the best Mario Kart characters. He was definitely one of my favorites back when I was a kid. Yeah, not much else I really have to say. Yoshi is definitely a good Mario Kart character, but I mean, let's be real, who would ever call Yoshi a bad Mario Kart character? That would just be cruel and unusual. Ha, just kidding. Everyone has their own opinions, but still, like, it'd be kind of bizarre to hear someone say, "Oh, I don't like Yoshi." Anywho, let's move on to number 5, which is the Mii's. I know, it's kind of weird putting the Mii's this far up, but I love using the Mii's, and personally, I probably would have put them at number 1. But to give the other Mario characters a chance, I'd put the Mii's here at number 5. But just letting you know, these guys could easily be at number 1, without a doubt, but whatever. I'll put them at number 5, I guess. So the Mii characters are really quite interesting, and they're cool characters. And yeah, there's nothing else I really have to say. I love how you get to customize all of them, and then you can just watch them drive around. While the voices are a little bit irritating, and they get way too high at times, plus they don't really... Like in Mario Kart Wii, it depended on the height. If they were really tall, then they had deep voices, and if they were very short, then they had higher voices. Mario Kart 8 ain't like that for some reason. It's just very odd way. But it's kind of cool how you can customize their gear too, depending on the amiibos. And because I only have 3 amiibos, well, 2, just Mario and Yoshi, then I only get 3 outfits. But I mean, it's still kind of cool when you think about it. And I don't know, I just love racing as the Mii characters. And like I said, these guys could easily have been number 1, but I wanted to give some of these other Mario characters a chance. Now let's move on to number 4, which is Peach. By the way, she's not number 4, she's more like number 9 or 10. I messed up on the list and I wrote 9 twice for some reason. Anywho, Peach is around the Bowser Jr. area. So, she's a pretty cool character, and man, is she underrated. Like, she seriously is underrated. She's a pretty cool character. I find myself racing as her every once in a while. And, yet again, she was one of the original 6. And I believe she's the last original 6 that we haven't talked about yet. Because the other original 6 were Mario, Luigi, Toad, Yoshi, Bowser, and Peach. Yeah, Peach is a good character. Now let's move on to number 4, which is Rosalina. Wow, bringing a Mario Galaxy character to Mario Kart Wii and then bringing her back in like every Mario Kart game? She's a cool character. She's definitely one of the better girl characters here, and like all the other well, I guess out of all the girl characters, Rosalina is probably the most overrated, but even then, not to a Waluigi. I don't know what the word is. But yeah, Rosalina is a really cool driver. You gotta love the... I don't know. Rosalina is just a really interesting character, and she's gonna be one of my favorites. The only thing I don't like is that her voice has gotten extremely high as the years went on. Mario Kart Wii, she had a pretty low voice, and now we have, like, Mario Kart definitely Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8, her voice just got higher for some reason. I don't know why, but overall, Rosalina is definitely still a good character. Nothing much else to really have to say, so let's move on to number 3, which is Lemmy. Yeah, I know, I'm putting a Koopling this far up on the list. I know, that's crazy to think. But honestly, Lemmy is just different from all the other Koopalings. You want to know why? Because he's absolutely adorable, that's why. You gotta love his high voice, and he literally weighs like nothing, like the baby characters. So, yeah, he's like featherweight. I don't know, he's just kind of a cute character. Like, I've seen videos on YouTube with Lemmy being like the good guy and stuff, which is understandable. Because, I mean, really, would Lemmy really do evil things? I say Bowser Jr. is kind of cute, but I think Lemmy is like top notch. Plus, he's just such an underrated character, I think. Like, why doesn't Lemmy get love instead of, like, Waluigi? Waluigi is just Purple Luigi, as I've said many, many times at this point that you're tired of hearing. But Lemmy, no, he's actually an interesting, brand new character. And I mean, he's a Koopling. His design is pretty cool, too. Anyway, not much else to really have to say, but Lemmy, definitely one of my favorite characters. Now let's move on to number 2, which is Dry Bones. Okay, not gonna lie, this dude can get a little overrated at times, but only a little bit. Definitely nowhere near the Waluigi. But here's the thing, Dry Bones is an actually interesting character. I mean, yeah, you might be saying, oh, but he's just a bone version of Koopa Troopa. Well, yeah, but his whole name changes and everything. Instead of it being called, like, Dry Koopa Troopa and just making it seem more like a clone character, it's Dry Bones, which makes it sound like a completely brand new character. Plus, unlike Dry Bowser, who's literally just Bowser and Bones, Dry Bones looks a tad different than Koopa Troopa. Like, yeah, not a lot of it, but but, like, enough to make him stand out more. Like, he's definitely a lot better than Dry Bowser is. And heck, I'd even say he's better than Koopa Troopa. Dry Bones is just such a cool character. He was in Mario Kart DS, and then Mario Kart Wii, and then for some reason wasn't in Mario Kart 7. And even Mario Kart 8 originally, but he finally made it into the DLC pack, which that's nice to see. Anywho, not much else to really have to say, but Dry Bones is definitely a really good character. But not quite my favorite. Now let's move on to my personal favorite Mario Kart 8 Deluxe character, and that would be Daisy. I mean, who else would it be? Who was in my very first season of Stuffed Animal Amazing Race? Why, Daisy. Who's one of the 3 who's in the Christmas sitcom? Daisy. Which of my plushies has, like, been on the channel the most? Daisy, obviously. She even is a teacher in this teacher thing, the classroom. So, of course, Daisy's gonna be my favorite Mario Kart character. But like I said, Mies could be number 1 too, but out of the Mario characters, Daisy is definitely, like, the best. She's just so underrated, and I don't understand why. Like, what do you see in this purple long thing that is so interesting? Yet Daisy is a completely new character who is actually really interesting. Like I said before, no one really cared that Daisy was in Smash Ultimate. They were like, oh, cool, Daisy, but everyone was hoping for Waluigi. I was vice versa. Like, I was happy Daisy finally made it into Smash Ultimate. She is such an underrated character, like, she really is. And because we have the new Mario Wonder game that's coming out, Daisy's going to be one of the main players. And I know, you might be saying, well then that makes her more overrated than Waluigi because she's in more than Waluigi. I never said that. I said that Waluigi's more overrated than Daisy. I never said that Daisy's been in more games than Waluigi, which, to an extent, that's kind of true since Daisy was in Mario Kart 7 and she's in Smash Ultimate. Plus, she's in the new Super Mario Bros. Wonder game, and Waluigi isn't. But even like Super Mario 3D World, we had Peach and Rosalina, but not Daisy, which was kind of funny. But, okay. I'm glad we're seeing Daisy in like more games now because let's be real, she's such an underrated character, and you gotta love her sassy tone to everything. She's such a tomboy, and I don't know, she's just really interesting. I find myself playing as her all the time when I play Mario Kart 8. Even like when I'm not playing as the Mii characters, I just pick Daisy just because she's so goofy. Obviously, when I do the top 10s, I pick randomly because if I wouldn't, then that would be unfair. I'd just be picking Daisy or some of my favorites all the time. So I picked some of the ones that I don't play as much, like Luigi and Wario, or some of the Koopalings, non-Mario characters, clones, etc. But although a lot like the top 5 choices can really get interchangeable. I mean, like Daisy, Rosalina, Drybones, Lemmy, and the Mii characters, all of them can get very interchangeable, and sometimes I like some better than the others. But for now, I think Daisy's probably my favorite Mario Kart character. Well, Mario Kart 8 character. And woo, that was a long list to make. I had to film this a different day than the other days. Now let's hope that Pauline and Diddy Kong are the two that's going to be in Mario Kart 8. Some people have said that Pauline's been leaked in one of the tracks, I forget which one, but one of the tour tracks leaked Pauline in the game. So, okay, if we're getting Pauline over Funky Kong, I'll take that. And, I mean, let's be real, Diddy Kong's gonna take over Funky Kong. There's no way that Funky Kong would replace a Diddy Kong spot. Diddy Kong is like one of the big ones that we still need. He was in Double Dash, he was in Wii, he's in Tour, but he still isn't an 8 yet. He needs to be an 8. Him and Birdo were like the last main ones that really needed to be in it. And of course, for funsies, we got new characters like Kamek and hopefully now Pauline. Overall, I consider Mario Kart 8 Deluxe the best Mario Kart roster. I mean, sure, the original one wasn't really that good, and even the DLC one still lost to the Wii one, but now because we have Birdo, Pity, Wiggler, and Kamek, plus 2 more still coming, I can consider this the best roster in the Mario Kart history. Well, out of the main games, because like I said, Tour is a spin-off. Especially if we get Pauline and Diddy Kong, like, that's going to really make this roster really shine. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed these videos, and I will see you next time. Goodbye and have a good day.